Brandon Smith is joining us on the podcast. Welcome to the BeeHive, man. It's been a minute since I've seen you.
It's like
how you been?
Good. It's like a dream come true being here.
Is it? I knew you loved this thing right off the bat.
I'm gonna shake this table too much because I'm laughing.
It does tend to wiggle a little bit. So if you can just take your monster arms and
let me adjust my seat.
Just do the entire podcast like this, okay? All right. Assume the position.
Okay.
All right.
Well, this is gonna be tough.
All right. So I haven't seen you in a while, but since then you have a great job that I know that you talked to me about before. You're married. You got a little girl, 4 years old. Mm-hmm. Collins, like Colin, but with an S.
Right.
See, I'm a good listener.
Yeah.
And I know you're a family guy, and you love the whole marriage thing. You and Alex are, very happy together, from what I can tell. But social media can be deceiving. So tell us what's really going on in the Smiths household.
Sorry. My cord's
You just missed the whole question. It was a very intense question.
I got it. You want to know what's going on in my
calling
house?
you out on your shit. What's going on at home?
Well, lots of stuff is going on at home. You're married to the 4-year-old kid.
Well, I'm not married. I don't have a kid. Tell me.
I'm saying.
What are they like?
What do you mean, what do they like?
Didn't she steal a chocolate bar today? Or her mom caught her, so does it count?
Yeah. She caught her trying to hide it. And she wasn't trying to steal it. She's 4.
Okay.
She was trying to hide it so mom didn't see she was getting candy. She didn't understand the concept of taking it from a store and putting it in a coat.
I think she was just trying to hide it from mom.
Yeah. You know what's funny is I was telling the story about us because we hadn't seen each other in years.
We have stories?
Yeah.
Oh.
I was telling my buddy today.
Please do share.
It's good.
Sure. Would you like some Vocalese?
No, I'm good. What is that?
Are you sure?
Yeah, what is it?
It's a throat spray made out of honey, and it's
we both looked
because every time I mention Vocalese, these guys just roll their eyes because Omar talks about Vocalese a lot. But you should try it. It really helps with your voice.
Are you saying my voice?
Yeah, just a quick spray. No, you actually have a great radio voice, but it's just something about that spray.
Maybe I'll do it mid-stroke in this.
Okay. Maybe. No, you got to do it now. I already presented it to you. The people at Vocalese are watching.
We're going to have to start
Come
this
on.
over.
Yeah.
This is not.
Can we just cut the last 5 minutes out?
This is the shit that people don't want to watch, so they stop.
No, they want to watch you do some stupid shit.
How many people has this been in their mouth?
40.
Oh, good.
Yeah. But just don't ask how many asses it's been. Okay.
Jesus.
Okay. Jesus won't be able to help you now.
I was telling my buddy I was doing this tonight, right? And he was asking about you, and
what'd you tell him?
all bad things.
Oh, of course.
No, I told him
not even one.
No, I told him you're an incredible artist. I showed him pictures of your art show that we were at on Jas Brav and the painting that I bought off you.
You're a good man.
Yeah, and
you came to one of my art shows.
Yeah,
you and Alex.
I just said that.
Oh, that's what you were talking about. You said White Ave. That was on Jas Brav.
Jas Brav. That's where. Okay, you're right.
That's where you threw me off.
Sorry. But I told him that you and I hadn't talked in years. We hadn't seen each other talk in years. And then when I ran into you,
we always keep in touch.
But I ran into you on the plane going to Toronto.
Yeah, that was
You were going to do the TED Talk.
I was lonely.
Yeah, I know.
I was lonely in that Toronto airport. And then I ran into you. I was like, what?
Well, it was on the plane. You were getting on. I was at the front.
Yeah,
and
you had a business meeting to go to.
And then I hung out and I waited for you after we talked as we walked that friggin'
showing me how I get
the
around.
7 kilometers.
Yeah, that was big, man. We had to take 3 buses, I think. Seriously. That's from one station to another.
Yeah. So then we ran in and then we started talking and then I came over to here and we hung out that night and caught up on life and everything was glorious.
Yeah. Always enjoyed conversations with you.
Why?
Because you were very real about them. You know what I mean? You don't tell me what I want to hear. You tell me what I need to hear. And some people, don't do that.
That's why there's a long list of people that don't like me.
Yeah, that's true. That does come with some backlash. Being honest is not such a good trait to have.
Well, there's this.
You got to be prepared to take some punishment for being honest.
There's this thing I learned. It's called candor with care, right? Because if you just have candor and you just tell people how it is, and there's no care going along with it, then people don't like you.
No, you got to have that
now
side.
I'm learning the whole caring side.
Give people what they need to hear, but presentation is very important. Dialect is very important. The way, your tone could make the difference. Like, how often do you text message something to somebody and the text message is not the way you wanted it to come across, but it came across in a totally different way than you meant because there's no tone to the conversation. So tone's important.
That's why we have a generation of people that lack communication and don't understand how to communicate.
You mean you don't want to get to know me over text message?
No. or
There's
social
so much
media.
I could tell you.
Well, what about a phone call? What about face to face? What about
People
this?
still call each other?
No,
I don't believe
no,
that.
because
When was the last time somebody called you?
they're texting with you and you call them because it's easier to have a 30-second conversation than it is a 12-minute back and forth texting. You call
12
them.
minutes. It takes 45 to like 2-3 hours. I can text
Whatever. My point is you call them, they send you to voicemail, they text you back, like, why you got to talk on the phone? Like, why not? Like, what are they doing? Really?
you. Right.
People talk on the phone when they're shitting.
If Donald Trump can make a few calls, I think you can make a few calls.
Anyways, that's just
Let's not talk
a
about
rant
that.
for another day about people and text messaging and social
How
media.
busy are you in the next week to talk about Donald Trump?
No, Donald Trump, I don't really have an opinion about that. I don't have an opinion about politics, to be honest with you.
You're just watching it.
I stay out of it.
Just do you tune in at all?
No,
No? Okay.
no. And like
You're not even looking at it like a spectator.
I don't watch the news, and I don't follow a lot of stuff. Like, I'm not an active social media person. I only use social media for work. I don't watch the news because it's all negative. It's all spun. You know, a lot of people, they get
Very generic.
what they call their facts from the news, which is 95% of it is shit.
Yeah.
Right? It's just pure. It's completely inflated and spun around 18 different ways, and what you're saying, then you're going and you're telling your friend, and they're telling their dad, and they're telling their neighbor, and it's like that old story where you tell a line of people one story, it starts here, and by the end of the story it's a completely different story.
Yeah.
And that's all this. And now that we have the information age, the internet and YouTube, all this other stuff, that's why people are running around with all this bullshit false facts, and they're pushing it as if it's solid opinion, like it's real.
Yeah.
Like they're like, this might not only is it my opinion story, it's fact.
But it's
not.
based on
If they took
one
the-
opinion that was just taken on like a game of telephone.
Right.
where
If they took the time to research
conversation
it, they'd
gets
find out
totally
they weren't
missed.
even close.
Yeah.
They're in La La Land.
Yeah. What else bothers you, bud?
See, this is Omar's intention the whole time.
I brought you here so you can tell us what's bothering you. Because me and you have always had these conversations, podcast or no podcast. We've always had conversations where it wasn't always one-sided, but I always had the quality of listening to you intently. Whatever we were talking about, we might go back and forth, not agree on a lot of things, but we're both open-minded adults that can sit together and have a conversation just about anything. But I know there's a lot that angers you. There's no way you have a beard like that and you lift what you lift because you're having an awesome, fabulous week, day in, day out.
We should clarify things for everyone. If anyone's actually still here watching this episode.
They've signed out.
Yeah.
Chris is here.
Yeah,
Where's Tanvir?
He has
Where's
to be
Tanvir?
here.
Bring him down.
He has to be here. Everyone else is out of here.
God.
The beard is not what it once was, as we discussed.
Yes, your beard was way longer.
3 inches shorter. And this, if any bearded guys are watching this, I'm not trying to offend them, but it's way better shorter. Like it's
But
easier.
once you've taken it to a certain length, it's so hard to go back.
No, it's easy.
It's like having a big penis and then being forced to make it smaller.
It's not at all the same.
Really?
Yeah, because
I totally thought it was the same thing.
no, the beard doesn't
No?
do the same thing that the penis does.
No, yeah, okay. So with the beard, unlike the penis, when you sleep and you sleep to your side and stuff like that,
Oh, yeah, it gets
do you
twisted.
find that you have to sleep on your back for your beard to stay the way it is? Because when you had that long beard, I guaranteeing you that you were sleeping on your back.
No, I wasn't.
Come on.
I try to sleep on my.
What do you mean, man? The thing looks like it's sculpted like one of those bushes that you see outside of rich people's houses with the nice circles and things that they do with their trees and
It's 'cause
bushes.
That's maintenance. You got to just take care of it.
Yeah.
I try to sleep on my back, and Alex, my wife, just punches me all the time. 'cause
But I
it's-
sleep on my side and my beard
yeah,
does
mine
this
just
thing where...
if I sleep on my back, I snore like my neighbors can hear me.
So what do? You just comb it out?
Well, no, I shower in the morning and I shampoo and condition and all that other
shower?
stuff. Of course. And that's part of
I
the
should try that. That's what's happening to the beard.
yeah, that's why.
Yeah, that's why it's like all out of whack.
That's why I can smell you from
What
here.
time do you shower?
when I wake up.
Yeah. What time?
Like I try to wake up
What, do
by
we just get too personal with you?
8:39, but
8:39.
now I'm getting up at 6:30 because I'm trying to get back in the gym because, like I told you, 4 months.
So we can break into the garage at 8:30 and have about 20 minutes of robbery time at your place.
You can
Good.
break in anytime.
Yeah. Make sure you share the address.
I have
before you-
9 cameras outside of my house.
Oh, you
and-
have 9 cameras?
Absolutely, and that's not even a joke.
What's the back memory to it?
The whole how
Because you
far
can
back?
go
I
back 1 week?
No, I go
No.
3.
You got the big
3
one.
terabyte drive, buddy.
Oh, so you can go back like 6 months.
Oh yeah, not quite that far, but
Because it's 3 months, 6 months, or 1 week. Something
well, it
like that.
depends. It depends on how much. If you're motion, this is stupid. They don't care about that. They don't care. No one gives a shit about.
I was really trying to rob you there. That's why I was asking questions.
No,
Okay.
come on.
All right, it's
They
fine.
got the cameras, the alarm system, and then
Good for you.
And if you come in the house,
I got it. Yeah.
You come in the house.
It's a very secure premises. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Shower at 8:30. Everything's secure. It doesn't matter.
Perfect.
You can shower at any time.
Yeah.
Because you're safe. You have 9
Anyways,
cameras.
The beard, yeah, I slept on my side.
We're still
because
talking about the fucking beard, man? I thought we moved on. Who cares? Yeah, okay. I slept on my side. It did this.
He's trying to get
thing.
me going, eh? Like, that's not how you get me worked up, though.
Okay, so let's get you worked up.
Why do you want to get me worked up?
Let's get you worked up, man.
I'm a happy guy.
I know you are a happy guy. You've always been a happy guy, but you got issues about certain things.
I have opinions, and usually it's an opinion because I came from one area, I lived one way, and now choose to live another. So I've seen
Where
it
did you
through
grow
both
up?
sides.
North side?
Here, Clearview.
Oh, yeah. You're a North Sider.
Yeah, born and raised. I lived on the south side. I moved to Summerside for a bit. You know, I was there for 3 years. Came back to the ghetto.
Yeah.
Smack in the middle of Clearview, just because Summerside was good.
But you live close to your parents.
Right next door.
And that's why. That's why you made the move.
Yeah, because
How are they doing? What's it like living next door to your parents?
You know, you sit there and you say, you asked me 10 years ago if I'd ever live next door to my parents. Not going to happen.
Yeah, no.
Today, you know, grandma and grandpa for my daughter retired right next door. It's beautiful.
It is.
Yeah. I mean, right before this, my wife and I were at Bell getting new phones. And after
Your daughter was taking care.
Yeah. She had gymnastics till 7. My parents watched her. We did the phones. Alex went home. Here I am.
Are they creepy parents like on Something About Raymond? Something About Raymond.
Yeah. No,
everyone loves Raymond.
Yeah, everyone loves Raymond.
Yeah, is it creepy like that? Like they walk in, just
Well, they knock first.
no. Are they very? Oh, they don't do the lep thing.
No.
They just come through the back door and
No, they don't do that.
surprise.
No, it's the other day. It's funny. My dad was in my hot tub. I was looked out my back window. It's my bedroom was in the hot tub.
Your dad was in your hot tub?
Yeah,
Oh, your hot tub. I heard bathtub.
hot tub.
Hot tub.
But you said hot tub, so how did you hear bathtub?
Right?
Yeah.
I think I said something and I thought something else.
Anyways.
Okay, hot tub, like the one outside.
Yeah, he's in it. And I tell him to use it.
Oh,
and he
that's
doesn't.
fine. I
Yeah.
thought it was like tub.
Well,
I'm
we
like,
put a
oh,
gate in between the fences in the backyard, right?
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Because they have the pool and I have the hot tub. So it's perfect.
Perfect. They have a pool?
Yeah.
Wow.
Grew up as a water baby, swimming my whole life. So my daughter.
That
the same
explains
way.
the chia pet look.
Absolutely.
Yeah, a little bit of
I don't know
water,
how
some
that
sun.
fucking explains it. but
Water, sun, chia.
Any young viewers have no idea what a chia is.
You guys all know what chia pets are.
Thumbs up.
They come in all sorts of sizes and
Do
shapes.
they still exist?
They do.
Yeah. Is that
They
what
do.
inspires your art?
You know, that's that's just fucking rude. You know what I mean? You don't have to say that. I don't get it. Anyways,
Maybe it's what inspired your beard.
good
Who
for
knows?
you. Your
Yeah.
family's got a pool. You got a hot tub. Congratulations. So what happens? What happens in this
I don't
household?
want to talk about the family though.
It sounds like you want to talk about it.
That's because you keep bringing it up.
So is that it? You're next door to your parents.
great.
Life's good. They babysit sometimes.
Yeah.
Makes it so convenient for you and Alex. Totally gonna write that down as a note. When I get married, parents move in next door. My parents would totally do that. But knowing my parents, they'd be like, "Why do you want us to move in next door?
Just move
Why
in the
not live
basement."
with you?"
Yeah.
exactly.
Live in the basement.
And it's like, well, I want you to be close
In-laws.
enough to babysit,
Not
but
close
not
enough.
close enough where you could just
Hear us arguing.
or other things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Now I see the little bit of north side in you.
The little
I mean,
bit.
I noticed it before, but the angrier you get, the more north side I feel like you are. You know what I mean? You have road rage problems? Like,
No,
is
I
that
don't.
something you suffer from?
No, I wouldn't call it road rage. I get frustrated with stupidity.
That's true.
The thing, it's not about road rage, and I actually don't get all that worked up. But the reality is the city. He's waiting. He thinks I'm gonna pull the cord, and here we go.
No.
Here's the issue: is the police are, and my dad is a retired city Edmonton police.
Yeah, you
right?
have a lot of cop friends.
I have a lot of respect for the police. Nothing against police. I was gonna be one.
I put away all my weed when you showed up.
Yeah, perfect.
Because you're a
It's-
fucking
it's
rat.
legal.
Yeah,
It's legal now.
It's legal. Yeah,
And I've
no,
never
still.
ratted on anyone in my life.
I know. I'm just kidding.
Anyways,
Fuck, relax.
my point is that I'm usually the first to defend the police. When people start having something, I'm usually like, I look at it objectively and all this and that. And I know they're just doing a job, but they're running around and they're trying to. The funny thing is, you look at speed limits in the city, and they're decreasing. Car technology has gotten better and better and better. The cars are safer. They stop faster. They handle better than they did 30 years ago.
And they're going
speed
0 to
limits are
60 in 3
decreasing.
seconds.
But now they're decreasing speed limits. Why?
Make some more money.
Well, yeah, so they can do radar.
Yeah.
And they're running around doing radar. They don't give a flying fuck about the guy who doesn't know how to merge. You're merging into 100, and they're doing 70 in the merge lane. And they're like, oh, well, that's cool because in the last 20 feet, I'll just speed up to 100. I'll accelerate the shit out of my car. They don't even give a fuck about the 12 cars behind them now that are stuck trying to merge at the 70 of the problem they created.
That's true.
These are my frustrations.
Yeah.
I don't have road rage.
Yeah.
I just
Do you spend a lot of time on the road?
tons.
Okay, that's probably why you get to see more of it.
So the issue is that people, especially in today's society, they're selfish. Like, we are a huge, big time selfish society compared to the way we were years ago. And we become more and more every single day because we can do so many more things all on our own. We can diagnose our own disease with WebMD. And
We're
all
always
this other
diagnosing.
stuff. I know. So my point is that people don't care. Like, they don't think of others. And so it shows in all areas, and driving is one of the major areas. It's the same reason why people stop in the middle of a 4-lane road and put their signal light on from the far right side because they got to get all the way over to the left-hand side. They don't give a fuck what's going on around them because in their eyes, it's like, well, I got to get over there.
Yeah. I don't like the ones that honk right away when the light turns green.
Yeah, those guys are nuts.
Give me a second, man.
But here's the thing about honking. And people, if there are people watching
Fucking
this,
honkies?
no,
honk.
no.
You say. So racist.
Yeah.
I'm racist against everybody.
Perfect.
Yeah, I dislike everybody the same.
Equally, yeah.
Even my own kind.
Absolutely.
Just kidding. Go ahead.
The thing is, what's funny is because I spend a lot of time in Toronto.
Yeah.
In Toronto, they understand what a horn means. It means, hey, dude, just let you know, maybe you're not paying attention. In Edmonton, if you honk a horn at someone after they're not paying attention or texting or doing whatever the fuck, it doesn't matter if they were sitting at a green light for 5 seconds and they're in La La Land, and then you honk and they realize, they basically think you said, I want to kill your fucking mother.
Yeah.
That's what they interpret it as. It becomes a war because you honked your horn.
In Lebanon, it's a language.
But it's just like, hey,
car
and if you go to Europe, it's like they honk and they move and they do stuff. Here in Edmonton, it's like you honk your horn at someone and they're like,
Why'd you do that?
I'm gonna fucking kill you. Like, what do you mean? You're gonna kill me?
Yeah.
You've been sitting at a green light for
I just
5
don't like the ones that
seconds.
do it really quick.
Oh yeah, when
Like
that
light goes green and then it's like, relax.
Well, they're nuts though.
It needs a second for my foot to leave the brake and touch the gas. Like,
Here's the funny thing though. As another thing about driving is all these people that like to be like, well, I'm not in a hurry, so I'm going to drive in the fast lane really slow. Well, you know what?
or what's the hurry for?
Yeah, but you know what? I guarantee you they've been in a hurry at one point because I watched someone like my mom, who's a slow driver as she's getting older. She's in her 60s.
That's what I think of when there's a
And my mom's always like, why this person's always in a hurry? They're always in a hurry. But you know what? I've also driven with my mom when she's in a hurry, and everyone else can fucking die when she's in a hurry. You know what I mean? She's like, and she's flying. But then when she's not in a hurry, she only cares about herself. Well, why is this person in such a hurry? Well, they can just wait. But if you were in a hurry, it would be important. But now that you're not in a hurry, they can fuck off. You see what I'm saying? This is a perception in societies that's not just on the road, in everything. Everyone just looks at their own circumstances,
Of course.
and they apply it to everyone else's life. They're like, well, this is my circumstance. Right now, I'm chill, I'm cool, I'm fine. So all these other people can basically just relax.
I love people that can take themselves out of their own moment of whatever they're going through and just for a second put themselves in that person's shoes, because we've all been there when we've chosen the latter, where we've been upset and we've acted on it, and we've all been upset where we just held back, pulled up next to the person. They were a little bit older. You were like, this is not the right time. This person's obviously a little bit of a slower driver for whatever reason, age, gender, whatever, and you drive off. So we've chosen both sides at some point. I love the people that choose to think of the other person as well, because I've been in a car where road rage has developed out of nothing, literally nothing. A slow turn from somebody in front of you just provoked this big road rage incident. So I've been on both sides. We all have, we probably do it on a daily basis, but I really enjoy people that can think outside of the box and say, you know what, I don't know what that person's been through, because if my dog was shot in the backyard and I decide to go to 7-Eleven to grab a quick hot dog to help to help
Dog got shot. I'm going for hot dogs.
Yeah.
That's logical. Makes sense.
I didn't even think about the hot dog thing.
Right, yeah.
And you run into me. Well, obviously, I'm just looking for a reason to get upset.
Right. Frame of mind is not there.
Exactly.
And no
So
one can say, but
it takes a special person to step
But
out
very
of
few
that.
people do that, and we're
Of
not all
course,
perfect.
very few
I mean,
people do that.
I can sit here and
If it was
acknowledge
easy,
the time
everybody
that
would do it.
There's times that I don't take other people's situations into consideration, but John Maxwell, who's John C. Maxwell, but if you don't know who he is, go to Chapters, and he's written over 100 books. He says the highest form of emotional intelligence is being able to look at yourself objectively from the outside in.
Of course,
And,
that's talent.
And it's so many people don't do that. And that's something that over the last 7-8 years that I've really been trying to work on and see it. And a lot of times people think like you joke and sit here and say you always like get angry about stuff. I don't actually get angry. A lot of people say, well, I'm more passionate. But if I
it's the ones that don't get angry I worry about.
But that's the thing is people say like
the angry ones let you know what they're feeling. It's like my open book. The ones that hide it in and one day just fucking explode.
But people are like, they're like, but like it's not worth getting worked up. You're gonna have a heart attack. No, you don't understand. If I didn't rage out or vent about this stuff, then I'd have a fucking heart attack. It's because of this that I don't have a heart attack.
Yeah.
I just think
because it's a free flow. You know what I mean? It's not being bottled up into something bigger than what it needs to be. I'm just letting you know at the moment what I'm going through. If I'm upset, you're going to know.
And sometimes happy, I'll do it myself. In the car by myself, I feel good. I don't need an audience.
Yeah.
But anyway, the reality.
You shouldn't want an audience for moments of anger because
you look like an idiot after, anyways.
Can you think of somebody in your life that just got super angry in front of you and you walked away that day going, "They're such a cool person."
Yeah.
I want more of that.
Yeah, nobody does.
No. You count the minutes till they're gone.
Yeah, I think society though is it's got nothing to do with driving. It's got to do with the selfish mindset, right?
Yeah.
And it's the way we're raised. And people blame millennials and they say millennial this and millennial that, and no one can give you a clear definition of what a millennial is. Technically, I'm 35. I know I look like I'm 45, but technically I fall into millennial in some definitions. But it's got nothing to do.
You got the eyes of an 8-year-old though.
Do I?
Yeah, the blue.
You like that?
Yeah, that totally helps with the whole not knowing how old this person is. Your eyes don't even...
Is that why you're gazing into them?
Yes.
Perfect.
That's what I do.
Nice.
I gaze. I've had many years to gaze. I've gotten the full picture now. Go on, man. Stop being so weird.
How am I being
talking
weird?
about eyes and eye color stuff.
He's fucking...
Is this done?
He's doing that. He's like, these guys are retarded. You can't say that word, can you?
No, I prefer you don't.
That's not a good word.
We can't cut it out because we don't edit anything here. Or we try not to. Would you like some vocalies? Maybe you'll stop saying the word retard?
No, you just said it. It's not a good word. It was not.
Well, it's not a good word.
I'm working on not saying it. And I don't mean to offend people.
We were talking about fag, not to use that word too. No, because, we all used to use it when we were younger, but nowadays, it's like you refrain from using words like that.
It's a bad word.
It is. It is. Fag, retard. They're not.
But even when I hear the word, like it's just, and it's funny because we share our business location with a guy who owns a business. We share the same building, and he's from Britain. Yeah. And they use that word a lot. And they also use the C word, which I'm not going to say right now because whatever.
That's a nasty one.
Yeah, but I don't think that one's that bad. I mean, I can understand why people don't like it.
It's just dirty.
Yeah,
that's really what
I try
what
not to use it because whatever. It doesn't bother me. But like the F word, not fuck, but the other one, that one bothers me. Like, and when people say it, I'm like, you shouldn't say that word. Yeah. Because there's it sounds like a lot of hate in it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, growing up when we were kids, and we'd say, "Oh, you're such a fucking retard." You know what I mean? We'd say it in the sense like, "Oh, that guy's dumb," or "Our friend is a little bit slow," or "We're making fun of a buddy of ours." But as you get older, you realize that word actually stands for a much deeper meaning than you're giving it, and it could offend a lot of people. So saying the word retard is kind of like, I think of somebody who's disabled, not fully functioned, not mentally all there. You know what I mean? So you refrain from.
You can offend so many people doing anything nowadays.
That's true.
Everybody.
But I think it just becomes a moral thing.
People want a reason to get offended.
But I don't have to change my language just because I feel like it offends you. I could just be changing it for the fact that I don't like using it.
I'm thinking in my head right now that I shouldn't say what I'm about to say or bring this up. And
Those are the best moments.
I'm going to.
Go. And go.
And I just
let me have a sip of water in case I spit it at your
anyone
face.
That's listening to this can understand what I mean when I'm saying this. But right now there's this thing going on, right, with the sign that showed up on the pillar that says it's okay to be white.
What?
You see this?
There's a sign that says it's okay to be white.
Someone posted a sign that said it's okay to be white.
But it is okay to be white.
Right. Yeah. But then the police investigated it. And now people have turned it into racism and all this and that. And you know what? It's like, it's funny because...
But what's wrong with that?
I don't know.
Black Lives Matter. It's okay to be white.
You can have gay pride parades. You can have that's the thing.
Don't come to the north side. We're all Lebanese. You know,
Yeah,
that's
and
not
even us
racist.
white guys can speak certain Lebanese words. Like, it's funny. We're at the auction today, and I was like, this one guy we were joking.
You're at the auction. You seen some Arabs?
Weird, eh?
No.
And we're talking with a few, and this guy, I know he's a white guy, and he knows this one word. I can't remember what word it was, and he says to him, like, hey, say kesamek, right?
Kesamek? That's what you told him to say? Don't say it so fast though. It loses its.
Oh, sorry. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, it's kesamek.
Maybe you should explain it to people.
Not kesamek.
For the people that don't
You know what I mean? Like I tried to teach somebody yesterday how to say sahtain.
Yeah.
And they say sahtain.
Do you remember
what I mean?
Alan
Like, slow it down
Batiza
a
and
little
Josh?
Yeah, that's too much. There might be some lebs listening that aren't enjoying these words.
But that one doesn't even make sense.
No, it does.
My dick in a chicken's ass.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what it means.
Well, they're trying to paint a picture for you. How vulgar is that?
I mean, how does he come up with it? Oh, I remember. He was trying to figure out how
This
to.
language is thousands of years old.
He was trying.
God knows what.
No, but
chickens are
Alan
doing
was
then.
Alan was trying to find out how to call someone a chicken fucker in Arabic.
Oh.
And so you guys concocted this.
Oh, the jizz.
Yeah.
The jizz.
But,
All right, stop picking on my language.
Okay. Anyways, we're not picking on it. What
So
the
there was
hell
a
were we talking
sign
about?
that said.
Oh, yeah. So it's okay to be
it's okay
white.
to be
or
white.
whatever. It said something like that. I could be wrong, right? I know someone might
And
correct
just so we're
this.
clear, it is okay to be white.
It's okay to be whatever the hell you want.
Okay.
Right? And so, but the point is now there's an investigation happened because apparently this becomes racism. And the funny thing is that I'd be the first person, and I have in situations, to defend any sort of ethnicity, any sort of sexual orientation. I'm all about it. Do whatever you want. I don't care, right? Like, it doesn't matter.
No, you've always been good like that.
Like, I think people have the right to have that. But, when they have to all of a sudden take their agenda and push it on other people, that's where the problem comes. It's like people of faith. And I know, like, you're a person of faith. I'm a person. We all have our faith. But we don't run around trying to push it on people. It's the same way that, okay, so if you're this sexual orientation, I'm not going to list one because, again, if you list one, you're singling them out and you could offend someone.
I'll be banned from past podcast work.
Yeah, exactly. But if you're this sexual orientation, and if you don't grab onto what they're saying and acknowledge it and say, okay, like I agree. Like if someone was a man and they became a woman, if that's what they chose, they felt like they were born that way and they were just stuck in a man's body. I will call you lady, girl. I'll call you whatever you want me to call.
But they want to be called Zen and Zer and you know what I mean?
I don't know about that.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I don't follow that.
I'm telling you.
Whatever they want to be called,
There's
I'll call
about
them
8 pronouns that they want to be.
But at the end of the day, my brain's going to interpret them as a man.
Exactly.
I'll call you what you want.
Just
but
a
my
him or
interpretation
her.
is whatever's going to happen. And if I can't change that in my brain, they get offended. Not all of them. Like,
But
there's certain people.
But their argument is, if you don't call me Zen or Zer or whatever pronoun that they want to use out of the 8, they're pronounced funny.
Sure.
But if you don't call them by that you're disrespecting them.
Right.
So here's my argument. So just because I see a man or woman and I call him a him or a her, that's a sign of respect? No. I'm just calling it the way I see it. Just the way you're describing
I think the issue is when they very obvious, like if you met someone that like, I prefer to be called like, identified as a her. Okay. So, and if you keep calling that woman that's now a woman, a him to be spiteful, that's where the
different.
problem is.
Yeah.
And you should acknowledge them for that. But my point is that I don't know how we got on the subject, but
well, no, they're going through legislation now to make sure that those pronouns are used. So they're making it illegal for you not to call the person by that pronoun, which is bullshit. You're changing a language. That's where the problem comes in.
we shouldn't go down this path.
Well, I'm just saying that's where the problem is.
Yeah.
Is now you're making it illegal.
It's the same concept as Christmas parties. Now they have to like. I wrote a letter to. This is back in 2011, or I think it was 11. I wrote this long email to the Journal about it, and just because the funny thing is Christmas is a tradition in Canada, and my family's immigrated here. My dad immigrated here. He's not from here, so okay. I'm an immigrant just like the rest of you. I'm only first generation.
Christmas is not a tradition in Canada.
Well, it's a tradition in lots of places.
Okay, so what's the tradition about Christmas?
But it so happens to be that Canada recognizes Christmas as a tradition, correct?
True.
So when you come here, it's okay if you don't want to recognize Christmas. It's okay if you don't agree or believe. That's fine, and you're welcome to that. But as Canadians, we should not have to deny our traditions to make you comfortable. That's why you came to this country, was for the freedom and the opportunity to,
and maybe tradition somewhere else wasn't what you liked.
to be part. Just like if we went to their country, and we would respect their beliefs and allow them to celebrate them however they wanted. And we would appreciate if it was a free country, that we could celebrate our beliefs the way we wanted to.
Because if you didn't want to make that move and didn't want to go there, then you're more than welcome to just go back to where you felt more comfortable.
They came here because of the freedoms, right?
Yeah,
they came here because they can have the freedoms and they have the ability, they have personal freedom and economic freedom. And to be honest with you, there's not a lot of places in the world that have that.
None.
That personal
what are
freedom.
you going to pick? Australia? Canada? No, seriously. There's not a lot where you can have the kind of life you have in Canada.
Right. So if
your biggest complaint is ice and snow.
Yeah. The whole subject was about people getting offended, and I just think people need to just embrace other people's beliefs, accept them for what they are, and just people shouldn't push them on people. Like, no one's trying to push Christmas on you. It's just that the vast majority of people, because it's a tradition here, people acknowledge it. You don't have to.
I don't see a problem with a sign saying it's okay to be white. I would just drive by that thing and be like, that's pretty funny.
I know, but this is my point.
Put that up there.
My point is that you can offend anyone with anything nowadays.
Yeah, of course.
Because people need to be offended because they need something to get behind, and they need something to live for. Meanwhile, they're neglecting their marriage, and they're maybe neglecting their kids and neglecting all these other areas because people, was that me? Sorry, man. The phone went off. I had it in airplane mode.
Nobody sees the sign.
There's a sign. Unbelievable. What happened?
Just saying.
Anyways.
There's a sign for people like you. But you don't follow it. Anyways.
It's on airplane mode. I don't know what happened.
Are we just your phone reminding you? So I'm just kidding. It's okay.
So they need to get excited about something because, to be honest with you, humans by nature, we're animals, and animals are competitive creatures, and we thrive on competition. And some people are more passive than others, and some people are more aggressive than others, and a lot of that has to do with upbringing, of course.
But we all have that animalistic instinct,
right? So people need to feel like they have something to fight for now. Mm-hmm. And it's so much easier to fight for a cause like that.
Meaning, a reason.
But no one looks in their home, right? So many people, like you look at the divorce rate today, it's sky high and going up and up and up. And
you're better off going into a casino and putting your money on red.
Right? And adultery and all these other things are rampant, and pornography is easy to access, and all these things are out of control. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. My marriage isn't perfect.
No, you're definitely not perfect.
Yeah. And Omar knows this.
Neither am I, but it's okay. Yeah.
But I'm not here judging anyone. Like, it's just me talking about things that I've seen, the mistakes I've made in the past, and things that I've chosen to acknowledge and make changes. But people will need to get excited and motivated about something, but they don't get excited and motivated about their own future or their family's future. They're sitting there and they get excited about Netflix shows and all this other bullshit and Game of Thrones and everything else. Can we talk about Game of Thrones, or could they sue us?
I love Game of Thrones.
Are we allowed to mention that?
So they can't sue us because I like it.
Perfect. I've never watched
They can sue you. Brandon Smith.
I've never watched it, to be honest with you. Never even seen 5 minutes of it.
I got into it 8 months ago. Somebody recommended it to me, so I binge watched. But it ties up a lot of your time, man.
The big giant guy.
But you're telling me Game of Thrones is the only thing on Netflix worth watching?
No,
there's
I don't know.
You see Making a Murderer?
Yeah, here's
the new one.
Number 2 out. No,
Holy
here's
hell.
the problem: is that so many people are getting so caught up in this nonsense.
We're all getting caught up in it.
Trust me. I like just like 2 weeks
ago. Some
ago.
more than others.
This Haunted Hill House. I don't know if you've watched this. One of the best shows. Yeah. It's one of the best shows ever done. The way they filmed it, the way they told the story, lights out, incredible. And it's not that scary. People are afraid to watch it because it's scary. It's not. And if you think it was scary,
it's just good cinema.
They wrap it up nicely for you at the end, so it's not scary. And but
it's just endless amounts of it.
But it's 10 or 12 episodes, I don't remember. And so me and Alex watched it in about a 2-week period. It's not binging, but it shouldn't have been a priority in life. You get caught up in this stuff. But anyway, my whole point is that people get excited about shit that doesn't matter in their lives. There's a bunch of dads running around that know more stats about the Oilers than they know about their kids' marks in schools. Mm-hmm. There's all kinds of things that people are focusing their time and attention on that don't really matter. And their marriage is suffering because multiple reasons. It's not always the guy's fault, of course, but as a man, I can pick on the men a little easier. The men go and they they work in their job and they provide for their family, and so they feel like almost entitled to have some unwind time, which, okay, sure, I understand that. But when you're working and 40, 50, 60 hours a week, whatever it is, and then your priority after is fantasy football, like fantasy, like you're escaping from reality. I don't think that people understand what that means.
Yeah.
And drinking with your buddies and all these other things become a priority. And your wife sits there, watches that, and she's, you know, whether she's a stay-at-home mom or not, or she's working a job, and then she's expected to, you know, make food, do the laundry, all these other stuff, and you put this pressure on there. You wonder why your marriage is failing, and instead of taking responsibility for it, you put the blame on everybody else. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's insane. But we're in a society where people don't want to accept responsibility. They want to blame everything else.
Yeah.
And they want to blame this and that. Well, the reason I had an affair is because, you know, you weren't affectionate to me anymore. Yeah. Well, dumbass, you know, you weren't affectionate the same way. How much time have you invested in?
It's easy to go back and forth and just bicker amongst like a man and a woman having an argument or a fight. But those that are really looking for a solution can find it, and those that are looking for a fight can find that too. It's your approach, man. It's your approach. You got to be a bigger person.
Do a poll. Find out how many guys married men have read one or more relationship books, and if they've read one, it's probably because their wife made them. See if they've read two or three. Yeah. And I bet you'd be shocked by the number.
And sometimes you don't need a book to learn how to be in a relationship. Sometimes a good example is your parents, your family, your friends. One might say that, hey, I know Brandon, so I've seen him around his wife and his kid, and he's a good example of what a man should be like at home. You know what I mean? So sometimes the examples are all around us, but it's whether you choose to pick up the good.
Right, and I'm not here.
You can pick up the bad.
I'm not here to stand in my, you know, my ivory tower theory and stand up on a soapbox and say things like my relationship isn't perfect. And it hasn't been perfect. We've gone through some.
I'd be scared
stuff.
if it was.
We've gone through some serious stuff, but the fact is yeah, you may not need a book, sure, but I mean, be careful when you talk about examples. I think people books are important because you need to work on it.
The solutions,
no matter what, you need to constantly be working on it. It's not something you do, you know, once and then it just takes its course, right? You always have to be growing. Like we sit there and you look at your jobs, especially in a technology era, our jobs are constantly changing, so we're constantly learning and training for our jobs. Yet we don't learn and train for our marriage. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense. People don't stop to think of that way, and a lot of times you talk about people's examples, but you got to ask yourself, okay, do my parents or do these people that I'm using as an example, do they have the marriage I want? Like I see people doing this all the time. You'll see it at work. You'll see one guy giving someone else relationship advice. Meanwhile, he's been divorced multiple times or whatever. He's giving relationship advice, and then 3 weeks later, the tables are flipped, and now the other guy's giving him relationship advice.
But see, I don't mind that though.
Why?
Because if you're giving advice on relationships or whatever you want to give it on, and it's good advice,
sure,
I don't really give a shit what you're doing on the side in your actual life. As long as the advice was right and it was taken in by somebody. You know what I mean? Like, put it this way, you're married. You give me good relationship advice that leads me to make decisions that I'm really glad I made later on or from years to come. I don't care that I wasn't backlogged on what happened in your relationship or where you ended up with Alex or your situation. I feel like if you gave me the advice that I needed to get and I used it to my benefit and it helped me, then I don't really care what because what my point is you can give good advice to somebody without following your own advice.
I disagree. I think you should evaluate does the person have fruit on the tree before you take advice from them. People can't sit there and speak from the height of their conviction. They're sitting there and they make it sound as logical as they want because you can meet some.
Not making it sound logical. I can give you advice on some serious shit that I myself don't follow. You know what I mean? The old preaching to the choir thing. Where have you ever given somebody advice better than you've given yourself?
Yeah, but they never follow it unless you got to do what you do.
But that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you can give some good advice without following your own.
I don't give an.
But you're saying you disagree with that because the person's not following their own advice. It doesn't matter. They're helping you out.
I don't give an opinion on something that I'm not living.
It's not,
because then you're a fraud. If you're sitting there, like,
no.
Oh yes, because
Omar,
I
disagree.
There's hundreds of thousands of people running around on Facebook posting bullshit fucking excuse or motivational stuff on their Facebook. They're jerking off Gary Vaynerchuk about how he's the greatest person on planet Earth, which he is. He's a stud. He's awesome. There's certain things about what he says I disagree with, but whatever. You're not going to agree with everybody
motivational
else.
guy.
He's a stud. I'm just a nobody from Clairview. So who gives a shit what I have to say? But when you look at this, these people are running around being these coffee shop philosophers, posting up all this shit on Facebook, saying whatever they want because no one holds them accountable. I can go find you. I can get on my phone right now. I don't even use Facebook. I can randomly search. I can find 100 people, and you could go and investigate their lives, and not one of them will follow
Why
through
are
on
you
the
worried
bullshit they
about
post.
investigating their lives?
I'm not. I'm just proving
My
a point.
point is this: if somebody is sending out or putting out some posts on something that's meant to motivate you, is that person in the wrong, or the person pulling pranks on YouTube
It's
and
not about
creating
being
a lot
in the
of
wrong.
content?
It's about you shouldn't counsel with a fool. You shouldn't be taking.
Why is that person a fool if the way he's counseling you is right?
Find the source. Find the source of the
Why are
information.
you interested in the source? Didn't you take what you needed out of the conversation?
No.
That's what's important. You're missing the point of somebody giving you advice. If I give you great advice, if I tell you, Brendan, on your way home, please drive carefully down 153rd Ave because there's cops everywhere and it's really icy out. And you go and you follow Omar's advice and you do exactly what I told you. And you keep that in mind. Not that you drive erratically on your own, but you're taking my advice,
This is
right?
totally another
Hold on a
situation.
second. I'm fucking making a point here. So then I get in a car. Shortly after, take the same road you
Drive like a maniac.
You find out I killed 2 people on a sidewalk, got a ticket, and I'm spending the night in prison. Does that mean that advice I gave to you fell on deaf ears?
No, but
or does it not make sense
you're
that
giving
good advice is good advice?
in a proactive form, and then after the fact, you're contradicting yourself. I'm talking about taking advice from people that directly contradict it on an everyday basis. You should not.
But why are you listening to the advice then?
Let me ask
No,
you.
no. Hold on a
You
second.
shouldn't. That's my point. Would you take
So you're
relationship
saying you
advice
shouldn't
from a guy-
listen to somebody's advice because if you do some research, they might not be following their own.
No, my point is.
Okay, but
is
those
listen.
guys posting things about motivational speakers, the Monday morning shit that we all look at and we're like, yeah, this person's really got nothing going on in their life. But the idea is, I don't want people put down the ones that are actually making an effort to post something motivational, even though they themselves aren't a motivated person.
Go nuts.
And
my point is when they're faking it, when they're trying to live this life and they're acting as if there's something they're not. I don't give a fuck what you post if you read.
That's social media. It's the age of perception.
This is my problem.
You know?
And that's my point is that, like, Omar, you're talking about 2 different things. You're talking about driving, giving someone an opinion about a road.
I'm talking about advice that you don't want to
Hold
take
on.
because
Give
the
you
source
an
it's coming
example
from.
that's legitimate compared to your driving example. No offense, but it's illegitimate.
No, tell me, please.
My point is that if okay, so let's say you have a friend who's married,
Yeah.
and the guy just is out craving opportunity to hit on every waitress he possibly can. He's trying to count his number. He's trying to bang 100 chicks any opportunity he gets.
Okay.
Now, are you going to, as a smart human being, because you know this person and you know the life they live. Now, when you're in a relationship, are you going to sit there and take advice about being faithful in a relationship from that person? Honestly, would you? Because
Why am I in a position to take that advice, though? Am I in a desperate...
My point is, what if he just starts volunteering it to you? What if he just starts telling you out? You say, listen.
Well, that's different than a person is just spewing information. But that's like saying, why did you stop and look at the picture of that motivational
But my
quote?
question is, would you even seek out advice from that person then? About relationships and about being
If
being
I
faithful?
knew that was the background, no, I wouldn't seek out advice.
That's my point.
No.
My point
I
is,
would say because
but
I
you-
might be steered wrong. But I'm
Exactly.
saying for good advice, good motivation, good pictures that are put out there that are meant to motivate you, make you feel
But you're
better.
grabbing onto one thing. You're grabbing onto. My point is that so many people do not evaluate the source of the information. Is the person they're getting the
Why are
information
you out
from?
there fucking evaluating
I'm
sources
not.
of information?
I'm not.
Are you here to tell me that social media is not real?
No,
that
you're-
it's fake?
You're missing my point.
That I can post a picture of a Lamborghini and it's not really mine? That's life, man. It's a beautiful
I don't
car.
care.
You take a picture with it
You're
and it's
missing my
perception.
point.
You put it out there. But that's the age that we live in.
But you're
That's
missing
social
my
media.
point.
No, I don't think I'm missing your
You
point.
are entirely. We're arguing 2 different things.
I'm saying that you're voicing an opinion on social media.
No, it's got nothing to do with social media.
And today's world not
I used
being
it as an example, and you grabbed onto it because it was the simplest thing for you to grab onto. My point.
I grabbed onto it because it was the simplest thing?
Yeah.
No, I grabbed onto it because you're using it as an example.
Omar, listen.
I don't mind people motivating me on social media or Facebook or wherever. Just like people don't mind of me posting a picture of me sitting in a Lamborghini. It's fun. A buddy of mine owns it. Had a great time. Took it for a drive.
I thought that was awesome. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yes, but you're saying that it's okay for somebody to have the same thought process that you're having now to turn around and say, well, Omar doesn't really have a Lamborghini.
I want them to
Why
be
is he posting
positive,
that?
and I think people should be put positive quotes everywhere.
Do you think my post was positive then?
Yes,
Okay.
because you didn't try to pretend you were something you
Now,
weren't.
okay, I was pretending something. I was something I wasn't.
How?
I was sitting in a car that didn't belong to me.
So what?
But does that give you the right to trash me?
That's not you pretending. If you were sitting there,
Of course I'm pretending.
No,
the car's not mine.
if you wrote on the bottom, say I took my Lamborghini out for a drive today, now
no,
you're
that
a fraud.
would be that'd be.
This is my point. I'm not
okay,
talking.
but I don't think anybody's going out of their way to. Well,
Really?
I guess they are, but
My point is that anyway, we blew this. Like, you really made me look like the bad guy there.
no, not at all, not at all.
Because you grabbed onto what I said. My point, what I was trying to get to, is that people need to evaluate the source of advice and input in their life. And so many people will just hear something from someone. Never
you mean to identify whether it's good or bad advice.
They will hear something from someone, and instead of evaluating and finding out about, like, they'll make life decisions based on information they hear from somebody who has no emotional investment in that person. All the time, they'll make life decisions based on without taking the time to evaluate the fruit on this person's tree, the life they have, and say, hey, like, does
I
this
think
person?
You should take that with advice regardless. You should always be very careful taking it. I just thought you meant like if it was advice I was motivating and led you in the right direction. I was just saying, who cares what the source of that advice was? You could find it under a rock written on a napkin. If that was good advice and it helped you out in life, who cares what the source of that rock was or who put the napkin there?
I agree, but
that's
point,
what I'm saying.
My point is if so, I have a friend who's extremely successful. He's my best friend. He's godparents to my daughter. Him and his wife.
Is that the guy you were going to see in Toronto?
No, but he lives just out here by Pigeon Lake. Yeah. He used to be a City of Edmonton firefighter. He's not anymore. He's the same age as me, 35. He's 9 years at the City of Edmonton Fire Department. And now, like, him and his wife are very financially independent. They've had great success financially. They have great success in their marriage. They have great success as they raise their 3 daughters, everything, right? So now my point is if you can sit there and I say, okay, so I can take theory, because I learn a lot from him, obviously. He's got success in all the areas I want it, not just financially, but holistically. Now, if you could all of a sudden, if I just spewed some of the stuff he said, he had a successful life, and then I just took what he said, the things, his teachings, and I just ran them out of my mouth like nothing, but yet I'm running around being financially irresponsible, not being faithful to my wife, not being a good father, all these other things, but I acted as if I was. Yeah. Like, why would you just take what I said versus if you had an opportunity to source that information, where did that come from? And you could learn potentially from that person that actually has the results. Like, why would you take the application from me, who's an absolute contradictory person, instead of just pursuing the source and getting the result? Is my point. Is that
I don't like your point. Doesn't make sense, man.
That's okay.
Would you not take advice from me on having a restaurant because I lost my first one?
That would be part of it, yeah.
You shouldn't, because I got some really good advice, really important things I could share with you.
So would you take marriage advice from people that have been divorced 2 or 3 times?
Yeah, they might stop me from doing that very same thing.
I don't think they will. That's where we disagree. I think you should take marriage advice from people that prioritize their marriage, that work on it, that aren't perfect, but yet they invest in it. Why would you take marriage advice from people that, and I'm not shunning divorce.
Maybe that
there
person,
are reasons for it, but a lot of people just give up and they shouldn't.
I know, but I'm just saying maybe that person is not wanting you, because sometimes when I give somebody advice, it's not based on something that I did so perfectly. Sometimes I'm giving you advice so you don't fall down the same trap that I fell down.
You want to learn from people's failures.
That's what I'm saying.
But you want to learn from people that fell down but didn't quit.
Okay, I get that. But I was talking about the restaurant business because I had lost my first restaurant, right? So the advice that I'd be giving you is not how to have a successful restaurant for 10, 15 years. At the end of the day, I didn't like doing it, and I'm not doing it now. Hold on. So if I'm not doing it then, it doesn't mean the advice I have to give you is invaluable. You know what I mean? Like, you could take a lot from that. But you're saying just because you look back into my background and realize that I made a horrible mistake somewhere, that advice is null and void.
But if I had the chance to take advice from you on building a successful restaurant versus
somebody that's been successful
Ray
in a
Kroc,
restaurant,
who created whose would you take, yours or his?
Not mine.
There you go.
Yeah.
This is my point. Is that people are so quick and easy to take advice from people that are easy accessible instead of pursuing greatness. But sometimes
my advice, depending on what you're listening to, my advice might help you a lot more than his advice will along the way. So you shouldn't judge what
I'm not judging. There's no judgment.
But you're looking back into people's history to make sure that advice you're being given is real, or it's coming from a real place. Sometimes it's as real as you can get. Maybe I just don't want you to make those mistakes. Maybe I care
People
about
can
you
take
enough.
advice whoever they want from. At the end of the day, you have a better chance of being successful when you take advice from people who have succeeded in that area. You have a better chance of failing by taking advice from people who have failed in that area.
And some people will stop you from making the same mistakes they did, and that's their advice, and that's all they can do.
But you don't think the people that succeeded made similar mistakes to you?
Of course.
Yeah, they learned from them, they corrected, and they continued to succeed.
I'm not saying one can give advice and one can't. I'm saying advice is advice.
Right. Every person who has a successful marriage that's lasted 50 years went through all the same shit that people that do. And I'm not saying there aren't reasons for divorce. There are.
Yeah.
But when I say divorce is bullshit, I say it when it's people that just threw in the towel because it was too hard.
Don't give up.
Right. So
There's
I would want to take, because the person that has a successful 50-year marriage went through all the same stuff as the divorcee. The difference is this person didn't have a quit button. That's the difference.
Yeah, but sometimes that quit button is there for a reason. It's an emergency button, and sometimes you do it for the sake of other people involved, whether it's family, kids, friends, family, whatever.
There are a few reasons to divorce, but I just think it's
that should be your last.
When's the last time you called When's the last time you called a TV repairman? Ever?
No.
Weird. 30 years ago, I used to call them all the time. What happens now when your TV breaks? Tell me.
I don't watch TV.
But if you did, what happens? What do people do when their TV breaks? What do they do?
I'll throw it out, get a new one.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, I see your point.
Yeah, that's a society we live in. It's so much easier to
we definitely look for the quick
solution
solution rather than the
My
the
wife
hard
popped
way
out a couple kids. She's a little saggy. She's a little this. Well, look at this little young hottie. Hey,
Yeah.
look. Oh, and she shows me a little attention. I'm at work. She shows me respect. My wife doesn't respect me. Yeah, and then you leave your wife for this girl because she's hot and all these other things, and you find out 6 months later she doesn't respect you either because now she knows what kind of a slug you are.
Yeah, well, once you start, I mean, I've been in a situation where I've had to encourage somebody to get a divorce because of the situation they're in.
So
sometimes
there
divorce is just
and I said that.
It's you being a realist. What I don't like is when somebody stays in a marriage just because he needs it to make certain people happy. Whether it's the kids will be fine. Some of the best kids I know grew up with one mom or one dad. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I grew up with both my parents, so I was one of the lucky ones.
And I'm not trying to get.
Am I really that lucky?
Yeah, I'm not.
Am I really that better off by having both my parents there?
I'm not trying to get all the people that are divorced to hate me. I'm not judging them.
I'm just saying that there's a quit button sometimes there for a reason. But I agree with you in the sense that you should work on everything you can first before throwing in the towel. And your example about a TV and the repairman just makes sense because nowadays anything breaks, we don't look to fix it. Remember when our dad used to fix the vacuum cleaner and twist the wires? And did your dad ever do that?
My dad fixes everything.
Okay, well, fucking look at me and agree with me when I'm saying it. We're having a podcast here.
See, people probably think you and I got mad at each other somewhere along the lines.
No, this is a conversation.
Didn't explain to them
I like
that
these
we've known each
conversations.
other forever.
I like these conversations, and I told you before that the reason I like talking to you is because even though we don't agree on everything, we're very open in our conversation.
Well, I'm going to tell you, anyone who's still listening to this or watches is going to be like, Omar,
they've all tuned out.
Never invite that guy back. He's a fucking righteous, opinionated fuck.
No, man, that's how you get real shit out there. No, man, what are you talking about? For every one thing you say wrong, I agree with 9. But that don't mean shit. Do you agree with everything I say?
I don't say anything wrong.
I'm perfect. So my dad would be sitting there just fixing the vacuum cleaner, and that was his thing. And nowadays, you'd never see somebody do that.
Nobody fixes anything
Nobody fixes anything. We're all buying it.
My point is it's easy to replace everything.
Of course. And you shouldn't take that sort of perspective on marriage or relationships or even a relationship with your parents. You know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't just give up on it. I get that. I totally get that. But I'm just saying some cases are a little...
What the fuck do you need hand sanitizer?
I love hand sanitizer, man.
But
are you going to have that Vocalese?
No, you haven't touched anything.
Buddy, you should do that Vocalese.
I did it. I didn't like
out
it.
A bunch of lies.
Yeah.
That Vocalese will make you an honest person.
You know what's another funny thing? And we're not going to beat a dead horse here.
Have you taken the Vocalese?
Yeah, I had some.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And I'm just going to move on after this, but...
You're allowed to be white. What does that side say?
No, it's okay to be white.
It's okay to be white. Yeah,
no,
go ahead, Brandon. It's okay to be white.
Like, people, same concept is taking financial... Like, a lot of times people take financial input from their parents, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
sometimes that's their old school way of thinking, and that doesn't apply in today's world.
And the fact is, and due to my industry, I see this all the time. I see people my parents' age and looking at it, they're like, a lot of these people are incapable of retirement.
Need help.
Yeah. Financially, they're a nightmare. And then you got the kid.
Do you help out your parents when it comes to that? Like advice on, like, are you more inclined? Or
my whole goal, me and my wife's goal is to take care of one generation up, 2 generations down financially. So my goal is my parents never want for anything. That's the goal, right? Is to give them the greatest retirement. If they want to go somewhere for all winter, somewhere tropical, take care of it.
Yeah.
That's our mission in life because of what they gave to us. I'm not saying that should be everybody's. That's just what we aspire to. And so, but the reality is that a lot of times people will sit there and they're like, well, I don't want to live the same way my parents lived. Like, I want to be this, I want to be that. But yet then they turn to that same source, which is what I was trying to get at earlier.
Yeah.
And maybe when you guys cut this up, you should put this before that talk. So people
don't hit my mic, first of all.
Well,
and number 2, we don't cut and switch. And
okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe
it
this
is what
time
it
you
is.
make an
Don't
exception.
sound so stupid and it'll be perfect. Stop making
up nonsense.
Yeah, it's all right.
No, but
we'll cut it.
you take financial advice from the people you just said you don't want to live their way, and then you expect to get a different result. It's crazy, right?
Yeah, no, I'm not saying if you take advice from somebody and get different results that you should have expected that to work out. I'm just saying some people that have been through some shit might give you advice that's actually detrimental to you. It helps you out a lot.
We'll agree to disagree on this subject anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
what's your take on religion?
You really?
Are you a Christian man?
Yeah.
And you practice it faithfully?
No, I was raised Catholic. Went to St. John Bosco, good old Clareview Church.
Yeah, yeah.
And had a falling out with God in my teenage years.
We all have
disagreed. Just you see things that you're like. And
how is there a God? Why is this going on?
Yeah, so it's something that I kind of am journeying on. My wife is a bit more of a person of faith than I am. And not Catholic anymore. We do go to a non-denominational Christian church. Not all the time. There's just certain things about church that...
What's the main difference between being Catholic and being Christian? If you can pin it down to like 2 or 3 things, what are they? I mean, educate me a little.
First off, I don't understand religion well enough. Like, okay. Have my wife here. She explained. I know.
Well, you're talking about a subject.
Well, Catholicism.
I thought you'd understand it.
Well, you brought it up. Catholicism.
That's true.
You kind of forced it on me. Catholicism
the hot
is.
Seat. We call that the hot seat.
Yeah, it is warm, man. I think it's because I'm wearing these long john underwear.
Because you're farting a lot.
I bought these. I bought these yesterday. First time I ever worn them. You can't see them. They're under my pants.
I'll check them out after.
Yeah.
You want to give us a little spin?
Do you want to wear them?
That'd probably fit me.
Probably would.
A little taller, but
anyways.
whatever.
So yeah, Catholicism is a form of Christianity, right? It all falls under the Christian religion. It is the biggest practice within Christianity. Just my experience, like growing up in Catholic Church, in my opinion, not to offend the Catholics, it's boring as shit, right? Like it's
just boring.
Yeah, stand up, sit down, kneel, stand up, sit down, stand up, get some.
Versus
Christian church, you go there and it's at least the ones that I've experienced.
Is it the musical one?
Yeah, they do music at the beginning, and I mean, we miss that.
I've been to those.
We miss that part.
Yeah.
We show up late.
Yeah.
Because it's
no, I'm Lebanese. I got to show up first.
It's not my scene, right?
Show respect.
It's not my scene to that. And then, but like a lot of time, I connect with the message that gets spoken because a lot of it is success principle based, or they talk about prioritizing things in your life and working on whatever your relationship. And I appreciate that stuff. So that's really what connects me with that. I just think my journey to develop a relationship with God is going to be in my own time, and I think it's going to occur in my own private world space. Like,
and it can't be forced.
It's not going to happen.
Nobody can tell you to have a better relationship with God. You just have to want it.
There's definitely
to look for it.
There's definitely some things in life that have been divine that I can tell that.
Oh,
I don't believe in fate. I believe that.
But you believe there's a certain shit that happens to you that there's more than just coincidence involved.
Well, I think that we're giving opportunity. We're like, whether it be through a God or whatever it is, you're giving opportunity. And as humans, we have a choice. And so this opportunity kind of knocks on the door and presents itself, and you get a chance to make a decision. And a lot of times you'll go left versus right, and you should have gone right. And so I think that's why people say, well, it's fate. Yeah, well, fate happened. Did you see it happening, and did you grab onto it?
Yeah.
Right? Because that's why I don't believe in fate. I think that what was supposed to happen happened, but it doesn't force you in that direction. It gives you the opportunity to choose. And humans have opportunities to choose all the time. And so that's my belief, right?
Where does deja vu fall in all this?
I have no idea.
You've never had deja vu?
Of course I have.
I've had some weird deja vu.
Like, I'm not a pastor or
No, but I'm not talking about deja vu like, oh, there's the same car again. I'm talking about the same person walking in, the same shit you're wearing, the same spoken words, like trippy glitch stuff.
like the Matrix.
Yeah, like really trippy stuff. I had it happen to me the other day. There's something that we don't quite understand, obviously.
Sure, there's lots of
My take about religion, and I'm not a really religious guy.
You're
to be honest
Druze,
with you.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm not a very religious person. I didn't grow up in a very religious household, but it was very it was very cultural. It was very ethical an upbringing, and it was just such a satisfying way of being taught, because we were taught a bunch of other religions. Basically, my dad sort of taught us what makes everything beautiful. So our mindset, me and my brothers growing up, and my sister, was just to enjoy each part of religion, because religion, we felt like every religion has, okay, so for example, if we're in Edmonton right now, if God exists in Terwillegar, and my religion says that I take 153rd Ave to Anthony Henday and head over to see God. And your religion says you cut right through the city, 97th Street, all the way down. Your other religion says you take Anthony Henday, but you go the other way.
If you get the same result,
my point is, we're all after the same thing.
Correct.
What road you decide to take is up to you. I'm sure there's better roads than others, but we'll never know. I guess we'll never find out until the very end. So my thing about religion is we're all going, most of us are going our own separate ways to get to God. But why are you so convinced that your road makes more sense? Will 97th Street win me a little bit more time? Would Anthony Henday be a little quicker? What is it? You know what I'm saying? So I'm religious in the sense that I love the belief in religion because it centers a lot of people, and a lot of people need that. But I don't believe that there's one religion that, including my own, that is more important than somebody else's religion. I didn't grow up that way. I don't think I'll ever feel that way unless God himself shows himself to us in front of everybody, and then we all just believe that that's it. He just came down from the sky. That's got to be him, whoever it is, in whatever form. So that
just brings us back to exactly what we were talking about earlier with different, sexual orientations and whatnot. If you get the same result, it doesn't matter how you get there, right? Like, it's the same concept. Religion.
How do you mean, though? How does that tie into that?
Because we were talking about believe what you want to believe in religion, right? Like, your version can be whatever we want. And support same concept.
Yeah.
It's all the same. Like, everyone just should support it. It's just when people start to push their beliefs that there becomes a problem.
That's true. Oh, you're talking about that transgender.
It's the same concept. It's the fact that, and
it's okay to be that way. Just don't force me to have to call you.
I don't understand why there's so much hate in the world for things, right? Because it's what, it's funny. I'm going to reference this. What movie is that? Cedric the Entertainer is, I think it was,
help us out.
It was the movie where Vince Vaughn was in it. He was that pimp, and then The Rock was his bodyguard. The Get Shorty or whatever it is. John Travolta was in it.
Oh, that's it's like a disco.
Uma Thurman was in it too, and there's a music producer.
Yeah.
And anyway, Cedric the Entertainer goes on a short little rant about how black people enrich the lives of like Americans, right, and the white people.
Yeah.
And it's one of the greatest things he ever said, because he's right.
Yeah.
Like, to be honest with you, he's right.
Yeah.
Like, you look at it, and like, I don't understand why there's such hate. Why people can't. That's what makes, at least, like, you look at Canada and the U.S., but Canada especially is a melting pot, they call it, right? All the cultures come in, and that's what makes it such a beautiful thing, is you get to experience. Could you imagine how boring our world would be if there was no immigration? If there's just a bunch of, well, I guess in all fairness, it would be.
You go to the Hutterites.
It would be the natives or here, but let's say like when people came over from England, whatever, and it was just a bunch of white people and then the native Canadians, and that was it. Like, how boring would our world be without the enrichment of culture? Without, you get to go down White Ave, and there's all kinds of different food. There's Lebanese food. There's a Venezuelan restaurant. It's just incredible. Venezuelan.
The art walk,
food.
different art.
Yeah, like, how boring would our world be?
Yeah.
Without these cultures that clashed.
You're absolutely right.
And yet so much hate comes from it.
Yeah. Well, you're always going to have the flip side.
People sit there and they grab onto the stupid shit. And they grab onto, well, this person did that and this person, and you watch that I'm sure everyone saw that that video. That was, I can't think of any of the name, but the video. Who was the rapper that did it? Where he had the white guy and the black guy, and they were like, and it was like the white guy was swearing. At the black guy. What's that song called again?
What's that video, Chris? That has that famous picture of him shooting somebody in the head.
This is America by
Yeah,
Childish Gambino?
that's there
I
you
know
go.
what he's talking about, but that's
Yeah.
not the one.
You
What?
know what's the video I'm talking about where they're rapping at each other? The white guy first starts off.
Beard and, like,
Yeah, the white hillbilly looking
Yeah,
guy.
yeah.
And he starts.
I thought that guy was doing good till I found out it wasn't him. I was like, damn.
But
thought it was him.
yeah, you
Yeah.
sit there, but you see this.
He kind of
and-
looks like you now that I
Wow.
think about it. I'm just kidding.
I'm a white hillbilly.
Yeah,
Perfect.
just because you're white, I have
Yeah,
to
and
compare
I
you
got
to
a beard.
another white man.
Yeah,
It's just
of
how I
course.
roll.
But like you look at that, and you know what's the craziest thing about that? You watch a lot of the video responses, and my interpretation of the video is going to remain in my head because it is what it is. But the individual interpretations of that video was incredible, and you can watch almost every single person from each culture that you can YouTube it, like the reaction videos to it.
That's why we need that TV here.
Yeah, we could show a couple
Yeah,
of them.
that's
And
right.
if you watch white people have a reaction, and
Yeah,
you watch the black
yeah.
people, you watch all Asian,
Yeah.
we watch all different cultures having, and they reacted to it, and you could see the bias naturally, which is going to occur, of course. But it was cool to watch people's interpretation of it because it just shows you, like, it's unique, but then you watch the hate that comes from it. Which I understand why there was hate. It was a very controversial song. And I thought it was awesome that he did it.
Yeah, but sometimes you have to be controversial to make a point.
Of course.
But you got to be prepared for the backlash.
And I think a lot of people missed his point. That's my opinion.
Well, that's what happens. That's why you get
Because
the
too much hate came from it, right?
Yeah.
And so,
and let's just admit, you have to be smart enough to understand the point there.
right.
Because a lot of people could just say, "Yeah, a white man's a good rapper."
Yeah.
Right?
I don't think anyone.
You
I
know
don't
what I'm
think
saying?
anyone thought
Hey,
that.
Some people do think that. I'm sure somebody out there just thought it was a white man doing a great rap.
Yeah, being a racist.
You know?
But my point is that we should have, we should embrace the ethnic differences in the culture that is created because of it, and let go of the hate. Like it doesn't. You're not going to like everything about. It's easy to turn it into hate because they're different, so you can identify it and attack it.
Then you would have liked a post that I seen the other day. A member of parliament was coming into to the courthouse, and they were having a meeting. It was the heads of some. I'm not a really political person, but he showed up with his attire. He was a chief, so he had his what do you call that? He had his
Headdress and all.
He had a headdress. He had everything. He looked straight out of a movie.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But he shows up wearing his traditional garments.
So he
and,
should if he
and
wants
wanted to enter. They wouldn't let him in.
That's bullshit.
And he was the head chief.
He should wear
They
whatever the hell
said
he
because of the way he was dressed. So back to we should all embrace each other's differences
Absolutely.
and ethnicities. Talk about just shitting all over that in that post. I
Why
saw it just the other day.
That's bullshit.
It's gone viral. It's pretty bad. But I'm just saying that's just a quick example of how we've lost all sense of, like, if you don't have a tie and a suit on, you can't enter, into a parliament meeting. You know what I mean? Like, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But in Edmonton and in Canada in general, you find that that's embraced more than most places. I mean, look what's going on in the States now. It's like you just need a reason to wear a red hat and punch somebody in the face. And if you're on the other side, you just, you're waiting for somebody to fuck up so you can blame them. But people don't understand that's backed up by a lot of things. You can't just pull Trump out of office and throw him in prison and say, there you go, problem solved. What about the 25, 30% or whatever it is that are true believers in what this guy's saying? So you got to cure that problem. You can't just take somebody out of office and say that if Donald Trump was actually the problem in the States, a bullet will fix that for you. And people will do it. But it's not that. That's not the problem.
You know,
the
this
problem
is going to get latched onto now, right? Like the Secret Service is going to investigate you because you just talked about
really?
a bullet in the president of the United
nobody
States.
like me.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah, knock. My point is that you can't just, if you're going to fix something, and that goes for anything, you can't just, like when you hear these people say just throw them in jail, that's like saying about Hillary Clinton, lock her up. There's obviously a bigger underlying issue here that you got to solve.
No president's going to solve the problems, and he's not going to create them all.
That's true.
You
That's
look
true.
at these people
You
that
can
are
only
sitting
make
there
it better or worse.
embracing, waiting. You got to change your own life. You got to sit there and grab onto it. No president is going to come along and fix the problem, man. There's so many incredible success. Like people who are victim of their circumstances. It's like, okay, there's a saying, and I can't think of it, and I can't remember who said it, so I'm going to butcher it right now, and everyone can know I'm the guy who
Hopefully it
screwed
comes
up.
through.
Yeah, perfect. So, like, if you're born into a situation,
Yeah.
that is unfortunate. And I don't know exactly how it breaks down, but this is my opinion right here. But now, if you were born into a situation in a country like Canada or the United States, or this, I'm not talking if you're born in the middle of a third world country.
Some people just have
it is
shit
what
hand
it
to
is.
play.
But if you're born into Canada in a poor situation, whatever it is, and I'm not making light of anything people have gone through, physical, emotional abuse, all that stuff. None of that should ever happen to anyone. It's terrible.
Yeah.
But at some point, as you age, unless you have a mental development problem where, you're 30 and you have the brain of an 8-year-old, then okay, that's a different story. But if you're a functioning human being at 30 years old, you no longer, in my opinion, have the right to be a victim. Okay? You're not, your life was this, at some point, there's acknowledgement. We've all gone through shit.
Acknowledgement of something that's happened in the
yes,
past.
and releasing those people. Some people say,
I mean, at the age of 30, you should be smart enough to know that your situation should not be looked at as you being a victim.
Yeah, you're not a minimum wage person because at 30 years old because of your upbringing. Because you were taught that you were constantly told you were stupid and you weren't worth anything. You just take things
for granted.
At some point, you got to be old enough, and especially in today's age with the internet and the power of YouTube and the inspirational stuff that's out there that you thought I was hating on, and I wasn't.
I didn't think you were hating on it.
We're not going to go back to that.
Yeah.
My point is you can grab onto that, and you can all of a sudden create some self-worth. And you can just.
So what if you look into that YouTuber's background and you find that he's been lying? See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just say I'm right.
Listen,
it's my podcast. Give me that.
You
much
took my shit out of context, is what you did. So my point is that I keep saying that. Like I probably said my point is like 87 times.
But you're making a point.
I know.
That's the best time to say my point is.
So the thing about it is I believe that people continue to be victims. And it gets right up to the point, like you'll sit there and you'll see people who are 60, 70 years old and say, well, I just never got the right opportunity. Opportunity is there. We're in Canada. You are not in a third world country and a slave in a system or something like that. You're in Canada. You have every single ability. Other people, yes, there are some people that are
You're
born privileged.
You're still going to have problems, but
there are people that are born privileged that they get gifted businesses and they can have success. And if they screw up, daddy bails them out, whatever. Yes, there are people like that. But you have the ability to do something great, right? It's the same concept as that's one of the, I don't like to be overly proud of it, but I'm very vocal of the fact that I'm 36 credits shy of a high school diploma and I don't give a shit. Like my wife, university, U of A, she went to U of A, all that other stuff. My education doesn't define me. You know what education does? It gives you the ability to get a better job than the next guy. Yeah. But it does not determine your ability to create a business.
But is that what you want? Just a better job?
No. I want to be successful. I want to create.
So I think people should just know why they're going to school. Don't just go to school because daddy said.
But so many people do.
Yeah,
it's true. It's go to school or get a job. And so they go to school.
Yeah.
And they get into debt, student loan debt, which is just a rampant.
When that job all along might have really helped them all along the way.
Right. So that's
a good connection. Well, no, it's true. Made some good connections. Made some of the most successful guys I know have not been to high school. Not high school. It's a little bit quick there, but definitely post-secondary.
You know what's funny though about one of the biggest things I agreed with my buddy's wife once said the biggest thing she ever took out of university. She got a degree in business, and she said the biggest thing she took out of university was marketing or networking with the people she met, because the people she went to school with, who she partied with, who she got drunk with, all these other things, they went on to have jobs or start business or whatever it was, and it opened doors. Right, because she met those people. She's like, I didn't take anything from the education system. Yeah. The only thing that helped me.
But some of the connections you made in the contacts are huge.
Which is, and I thought to myself, wow, that's something I never thought of. Like that is a huge opportunity. And so I think, I don't remember where I was going on this. Where was I going with this point?
It was your point.
Yeah, but help me out here.
Where you were going with that point was the educational system.
No.
We're just talking about the education system. Is that how you got on that topic?
Listening?
Why weren't you listening, man? But no, I get your point. You were talking about people just claiming that they're victims well into their 30s and stuff like that.
So my point, victim of circumstance. So I mean, I can sit there and say, well, I'm a victim, but at the end of the day, I made a choice not to finish high school. And it wasn't that it was hard. It was that it was boring for me. It was. I feel.
But some people I feel do need school.
Agreed.
Like straight up.
Agreed.
There's some people out there. I'm like,
I'm not going to knock school. I think school
Yeah.
is very important.
Yeah.
And I'm going to teach my daughter that as well.
Yeah.
To a certain level of degree. Like I feel for me.
But it's not the difference between being successful and not being successful.
It is in the job world. If you want to be a job person and work for someone the rest of your life and have great benefits and all that other stuff, and never create a legacy for your family, because let's face it, if you have the best job in the world and you get a great pension after when you die, it all shuts off.
Yeah.
You're not willing it to your kids. You didn't create an empire. You know, like you look at the Kroc family, they make $1 million a day.
In Step Brothers, he's always said he wanted to be a part of the family business. Yeah, but you're a doctor. I know. I tried telling him that. He said it's all about who you know.
Right. So anyways, like the Kroc family make $1 million a year, and Ray Kroc's been dead since like 1983, since I was born.
Yeah.
And they still make $1 million because he created a legacy.
Yeah.
He created an empire. It had nothing to do with the job. It had to do with that. So, so victim of circumstances. I can sit there and play "Woe was me" and sit there and you get told like literally. I remember my grade 3 teacher told me. My mom went to some psychic when we were younger. She said I was going to be a scientist, and I remember saying that in my grade 3 class. I specifically remember my grade 3 teacher, and I know her name. I won't say it. She said to me, I was talking about it with some kids in class, and she said, well, you're never going to be a scientist the way you are at school. She literally like went and stole that from me, right? Which I think, whatever, who gives a shit, right? But
What's her name?
We're not going to talk about it.
What do you mean, man?
No, listen.
She's probably educating some poor fool and smashing his hopes and dreams.
But here's a teacher. You're telling me society doesn't openly teach you that if you don't, graduate high school and go on to post-secondary that you don't have a hope. They teach you that. Like they almost try to instill that through fear. And there are people that do not finish high school, whether it be through, they feel like it's too hard, they struggle with it.
There's lots of money going through that system, though.
And then of course it is. It's a business. And then they leave it, and so their whole lives they feel like they're not worth more than that, and they're stuck in a system. So then again, that's not a victim of circumstance. They get an opportunity, they can make a choice and make a decision. And here's my other problem talking about this minimum wage. You sit there and you talk about what is minimum wage? It's like almost $16 an hour. It's crazy. Which is like, here's the thing about minimum wage. Your minimum wage is not supposed to be an income you live off of. Go do something better. Make more money.
Yeah.
You go.
I
hit your mic again.
Yeah. That thing's going to be broken by the time. Is this thing over pretty soon?
Marble Slab. Go to Marble Slab. Have you been to Marble Slab lately?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Been watching my figure.
You know how much it is for
Marble Slab is amazing.
Half a liter of ice cream? You know what half a liter is?
Expensive.
You know what half a liter is?
$13?
It's $9.99, and it's a little Haagen-Dazs size. Yeah. You know why it's $9.99? Because they got to pay the person behind the counter $15 something an hour. And it's a small little one-odd in business. It's a silly business model, in my opinion. But
don't you help yourself there?
No, Marble Slab.
Or that's
all that yogurt. That's all out of business. Londonderry Mall gone. The one that's outside gone.
The one just off of White Ave is gone too?
I don't know if that one's gone, but you know why?
By the university there.
I know where it is, but you know why they're all gone? Because you can't afford to pay any people.
Menchie's?
No, that frozen yogurt place.
I'm talking about Menchie's.
I don't know what Menchie's is. Do you know what
Menchie's is that frozen yogurt
No one
place.
gives a shit.
It's really good.
Okay.
Shout out Menchie's.
But if you're still in business.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So all these places are going out of business because minimum wage went up, right? Good job. Now, here's the thing about minimum wage. I'm all for it. For these poor people, like here's where I'm all for it with these people that come over.
Students
you look at the student, but as a student, you shouldn't be supporting a family off minimum wage. Go get a different job and
Why
make
do you have
money.
a family?
But here's the thing: is they're talking about how minimum wage needs to be increased because they're below the poverty line if it's not increased. Yeah, but people who are making minimum wage are supposed to be below the poverty line. They're supposed to be living at home. They're supposed to be 15 and 16 and 17-year-old kids. They're not supposed to be a 25-year-old woman working 2 jobs trying to support 2 kids. That's not what's supposed to be happening. Yeah. And the only sad part about it is you look at how in Edmonton where we are, they bring all the people come over from the Philippines and the system's shitty. Because these employers, these business owners grab them, they get stuck on this damn thing. I can't think of the friggin' name of it. And they have to stay there. And they can't go work somewhere else. They can't start a business on their own because it breaks their contract. And they're stuck there. So that's why I think that minimum wage is great for those people. Because they have a family to provide for them. And they're stuck there. They can't go get a better job because that was the condition of them coming into the country. So I agree with it there. But all these other people who can go do whatever they want and they're surviving off minimum wage and they're sitting there and they're like, minimum wage needs to go up. Well, no, because you're putting businesses out of order. You go to BP's and try to order something. The price is through the roof. Go anywhere now. You remember you used to get 2 for $9 for $7.99. Now it's 2 for $9 for $15.99. You're like, what the fuck happened here? It's double the price because they have to pay all these people. And all these people are sitting there and they're pursuing this higher income. And now they're pricing themselves out of the job market. You go into McDonald's and it's standing there. And my buddy refers to this as a tombstone that where a human used to stand. You go in and there's a giant iPad and dung, dung, dung. You push the buttons because you just priced yourself out of a job. And technology's taking your job. And there's statistics that saying in the next 10 to 15 years, 50% of the jobs are going to be gone because of computers. And you're sitting there, and the funny thing is you go to an airport, and you'll have someone who works for the airline. You'll want help, and they'll intentionally.
The job of the girlfriend's at stake. They're screwing dolls.
They walk you over to the stand that's taking their job, and they're dunk, 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 and they get you to use it.
Is that the sound it makes?
Yeah, I don't know, but you go to Chapters or Indigo, whatever the hell it's called now.
Yeah,
look it up. I don't know if it's the same it was 2 years ago. I bet you it is. The book will be $32.99 there. Go online. It's exactly half the price. And I asked one of the girls in the store one time, what's the deal with that? That's going to put you out of a job. Like the stores, who's going to want to come to a store and buy a book when they can buy it online for half the price? And they're like, yeah, but some people like coming in stores. Well, no one likes coming in stores when they're paying double the price. They go buy 10 books. It's going to be $180. They could buy them online for 90. They're not going to bring them to the store.
A lot of them resort to used books.
Or that. My point is that everyone is looking for the easiest way to get by, which is increase the minimum wage, all these other things, instead of going out and creating something for themselves and working hard. Right? People used to work hard.
Yeah.
But now people are looking to win in other areas. They're winning in areas because people want to win. And they're winning in other areas. They're winning in CrossFit and I like CrossFit. I'm not a hater of CrossFit. I've done CrossFit.
We were just talking about CrossFit.
When were you guys?
With
yeah.
With Danny and Derek.
Were they haters of CrossFit?
No, actually, they we're talking very openly about it. They said
I know
it's
they
all
left.
just a different. Yeah.
And I that's the thing.
If anything, I made fun of them because I was like, so you guys don't have to spray tan at the end and start posing on stage. You guys are like real athletes. I'm like, and they still didn't bite. I thought they were going to get into it.
Spray tan is bodybuilding. That's not CrossFit.
No, I was talking about bodybuilding.
Yeah,
I was talking about, at least with you guys, when I see videos, it's not a bunch of posing on stage. You're actually like lifting these rocks and doing some deadlifts, like crazy weight, flipping tires. You know what I mean? You don't clean up as well.
That's all. And you do that in CrossFit too, kind of. Well, certain CrossFit gyms.
Yeah.
And I like CrossFit. I've done a lot of CrossFit, and
I'd like to do CrossFit.
I enjoy the strongman side of it, and I enjoy the powerlifting stuff.
We should go. We should go.
Come anytime.
Yeah, I'd like to try.
I haven't worked out 4 months. But.
Yeah, no, I'd like to try. I've been working out with Chris, or just started. But.
So I enjoy a little. It's when you get the fanatics that give it a bad name, right? They're running around. Yeah. CrossFit.
Yeah, it's like, relax, man. I just started.
My buddy who is the firefighter always has jokes. Like, there's a firefighter in a room. Just give it 30 seconds. He'll tell you, right? And he jokes because he was a firefighter. And he said that goes the same for vegans, pilots, and CrossFitters. And he's right? They're all just, most of them, not all.
Are you a meat eater?
Oh, yeah.
I don't like that.
You what?
What? I don't like that.
Why not?
I don't like meat.
Since when?
I don't know.
Okay.
I haven't liked meat in about 3-4 years.
You don't
now.
like that I like meat, or you don't like meat?
No. I don't like meat.
Okay, so I'm okay to like meat then.
No, why wouldn't you?
Sure, I'm just checking.
What am I, your mother?
I don't know.
No, I'm not big into meat.
Yeah, and I understand
feel a certain way back then.
Of course.
Like just physically not well, so I just cut it all out.
And
now it's just chicken once in a while, but even
if people don't want to eat meat, they shouldn't eat meat. They just should shut the fuck up to people that want to eat it.
Yeah. No, you don't have to tell me to shut the fuck up. Just say.
I'm not talking about you.
You know what your problem is? You smoke weed?
No.
Why not?
Because I just don't like it.
You really should. You'd be a happier person. Next time, do me a favor. If you're on this podcast, which I really hope you never come back.
Yeah.
But if you do come back,
me too.
We'd like you to smoke weed. And you could explain this to Alex and your daughter one day. Say, just because the host of the show wanted me to.
I'm probably not going to do it.
Well, you should.
I don't drink
How about
a lot
a
of
little
alcohol.
pill?
No,
you're just a very angry individual.
No,
Look how happy I am.
I think I've smiled more than you.
No.
The only time I got frustrated is when you were missing my point.
We're still on, so stop explaining what happened before.
Anyways.
Digging yourself a hole. Yeah.
I don't. I'm all for it. If people want to smoke weed and everything. I actually went in Nova Cannabis on White Ave with my buddy just because he buys it and I want to check it out. Yeah. It's like an Apple store. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's crazy.
You see them underneath the glass,
fancy.
the glass walls with all their
Everyone should go check it out.
Why is weed behind? Like, remember back in the day, you're thinking, yeah, right, dude, have this at a store. You walk in and select your favorite. And they got people to help you out. I'm like, the service is amazing.
So now you're not getting a sandwich bag rolled and then licked
And
on
you're
the
so
side
proud
and-
when you leave the store. You're like,
Yeah,
I
it's
got
not nice.
weed. Where before you're like running from your dealer's car to your car, shoving it in your pocket. Yeah, but you should definitely try it.
No,
because
I-
you're such a the word has eluded me.
Yeah,
but
that's because you smoked too much weed. You forgot.
No, that's not why. My memory's intact, my friend. You need to smoke it so you could just be a little happier. We could talk about happy things.
I'm happy.
But you know what? I love the discussion we have.
You wanted me. You sit here the whole time before, just to clarify. This guy wanted me to get angry on the whole part. Yeah.
I said speak your mind. I said me and you, every time we talk, we have an open conversation. We don't always think the same way, but that's why it's nice to talk to somebody like you. You think I want to sit with somebody that agrees with everything I say? That's a very boring conversation. No, seriously. I had one telling me that, a guy got hit with her ambulance. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're just way off the cuff.
Shock value there.
Just shock value.
So
So my point is just it's always nice to have these open conversations because a lot of what you say I agree with because you've always been a smart guy. I've always taken your advice, by the way.
You do remember I told you I didn't graduate high school, right?
But see, unlike you, I'm not looking into
Call
your
me a
past.
smart guy.
I took your advice. I took your
How do
advice
you
to start a
grab onto that?
podcast.
Yeah.
And here I am.
You did this because of me? Wow.
Because of a lot of people. But my point is I always value your advice. I always value your opinion on many things. But
I'm going to have to go back in time and stop myself from giving you this advice.
Yeah, see, that's just rude. You don't have to see a little bit of weed. You just laughed it off.
I did laugh it off.
All into the night. It would just been real because that was a fake laugh.
No, that was real.
It was?
I thought it was fucking hilarious.
Okay, because usually your blue eyes sparkle when it's a real laugh.
Oh, I think they're sparkling. We'll check the footage.
Somebody. Are we about done?
Yeah.
What do you have
time
anything
is it?
else to say? I don't know. But it's a good podcast.
I have a lot of things to say.
One of my favorites.
I have a lot of things to say, but we're not going to do it.
You want to save it for part 2?
We're going to do it.
No, I'm serious.
You just told me you didn't want me back on the
I'm
show.
just kidding, man. See, if you were high, you would have thought of it as a joke.
I would have got all paranoid if I was like, what the fuck? He
you would have been like, ha, 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 this guy's being funny again.
Well, we can do a part 2. We can do a part 2 with me, or we can do even part 2, 3, 4, 5.
Is your beard going to be longer?
I can grow it if you really want.
Yeah.
I don't want to grow it back.
Yeah. It's just at a stage where you can maintain it properly.
It's beautiful.
Do you shampoo?
Oh yeah.
Your beard and condition it?
Absolutely.
I do. I like it.
You have to shampoo and
Do
condition.
you ever, especially when you first started growing a beard, did you ever dry up and then forget that you didn't dry your beard, and then you're about to put a shirt on, you realize it's still very wet?
No,
and
I'm not an idiot.
It happens to me all the time. I forget to dry my beard, and it's just you're walking somewhere, it's just dripping on your shirt. I'm like, oh, the shampoo.
Really? The shampoo's still in it?
No, not shampoo, but it's wet. It's water.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just gave it a little spin with the shampoo.
No, we can do it. We can do another.
Yeah, absolutely. I love our conversation.
You might want to wait and get some feedback from anyone who actually sat through this.
Yeah, YouTube won't let me post this.
I mean,
can't have a racist on the show, and I'm not talking about me. You know what? I'm the least racist.
I'm the least racist. I support.
You're not racist at all. Neither am I.
Yeah.
But that's why we're so open about it.
Yeah.
Like I call black people blacks by accident, but anybody that's ever heard me say that.
But you offend people by saying that. But like,
but I'm just joking.
Okay, I know we wrap this up, but remember this this Amber Alert that went out the emergency phone. They described the girl as a mulatto.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was a bad word.
Mulatto's not a bad word. It's a mix.
You're not supposed to say it. What?
But see, I feel like a racist person would jump all over that.
But they did.
I'm not racist, so I make mistakes.
They blew it out of proportion.
But they're not even mistakes to me. I'm just very open with it. I got no problems.
They attacked the city of Edmonton police for announcing it that
that's
way.
a bit much. Mulatto means you're a mix of African American and something else, whether it's
they attacked.
No, mulatto.
They attacked the Edmonton police.
Mulatto Jr. on the other day.
They attacked the Edmonton
His
police,
name's a curse
man.
word?
Yeah, because I agree, but
you could just hang around too many white people,
dude. It was all over the. It was all. I don't watch the news, but all you heard about was this big controversy that the police were like, "Well, sorry, we were trying to find this girl and we didn't know. Like, what are you gonna do? Call her?" They're like, "Well, someone's like, you should have called her Caramel." Well, that could be a lot of things.
Caramel.
And you know what the funny thing is? Oh, now it's okay to describe someone based on color, right? Because it's convenient for the
Only
person.
if it's after a chocolate bar,
right? It's convenient because it's convenient in this point for the person. But if they had described her as Caramel, this same person would have flipped the fuck out, saying, "Well, you should have called her mulatto. You shouldn't describe people based on color." right? Like it's like you can't call up with that, that black guy over there. It's like, what the fuck? You can't say that. I'm like, what? Why?
You can't say black guy?
I don't know. He's black. I can see him. I'm just saying it's easy for me. What do you want me to do? Because to me,
when they start thinking about it,
if I was around a bunch
there's
there's
a problem with you.
When someone
I don't think twice about what I'm saying
exactly.
because there's nothing.
They're the problem because
really.
they're uncomfortable. It's like if I was around a group of a bunch of Asians and people that were of dark skin color, since we shouldn't call them.
And you said like a sambuli.
No, and if they said to me, they're like, that white guy over there, I wouldn't be offended because I look around and the easiest possible way to describe me, to quickly explain it to that person is by saying that white guy over there. It's not offensive. It's just as simple as it's the path of least resistance, right? The quickest way from point A to point B is what? A fucking straight line. The straight line is describing me as the white guy. Am I right?
Are we rolling a mid-joint yet?
Okay.
No, I get it. Though.
Anyways,
I get it.
My point is that. Yeah. So people get worked up about shit, but we've gone long enough.
The same people that get worked up over having a gay man sitting beside them, those people worry
Who
me.
gets worked up about that?
There's lots of people that do, man.
But, like some of my favorite people
listen
are my friends
to me.
They're hilarious. I love
I've been hit on by a gay man.
It's flattering, isn't it? No?
Yeah,
okay.
It's flattering. Yeah.
Maybe I think it's flattering.
But if somebody says, hey, my friend's been working out, what does he look like? I'd be like, he's got a nice body. He looks like he's been working out. But to some people, you can't even utter those words.
It's funny. We're in White Rock, BC.
So those people scare me is my point.
We're in White Rock.
When you're open and your discussion is vast about many things, and I can call black people whatever I want, Asian people, Arabs, whoever. I'm so comfortable in speaking my mind. So if I slip up, that's not me making a mistake. That's just the words that are coming out. But if you have a problem with it, it just means you're thinking about it a little too much.
And they should
you know what I mean?
Like we're in White Rock, BC last summer, and we're there and we're on the beach and I'm looking at the sky.
That's such a white thing to do, though. White Rock, BC.
Anyways, I'm looking at the sky in the water, right? And I'm there with my wife.
I'm trying to make you laugh.
And there's this guy walking through, and he's looking good, right? He's
looking.
No, he did. And
yeah,
I said to my wife, I'm like, look at that guy's body.
Yeah.
I'm like, doesn't? And I'm like, oh, fuck, I should look like that. I gotta get a little more discipline. I'm like, but look at like.
Did she leave you for him?
Like, even his quads, like he's got like, right? Because a lot of guys don't work. I love to squat. It's just my thing.
Yeah,
like,
he does his legs.
Got great quads. Everything else is good. Like this guy's. Like,
you do. I saw your quads. Yeah. Great looking quads.
Thanks. And anyways, and so I'm pointing it out, and I'm sitting there. My wife laughs because this is not the first time. She's like, very few women have a husband that will sit there and admire another man's body and openly discuss it their wives. Like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I like.
I'm not gonna go hit on the guy or make out with him or touch his dink. I'm just there to just say, good for you, man. Yeah. Like you got some.
It's the guy that looks at a guy like that and then quickly looks away or looks down. It's like,
that guy's got issues.
What were you thinking about?
Yeah, this guy's got issues.
I
can acknowledge you guys' hard work.
I was just trying to calculate how much he bench presses.
This guy's fucked right now.
No,
who'd you invite on this show?
They listen intently to us because they are my audience. That's how I do this.
That's the only audience.
The fact that we record this and put it out there is a bonus.
Yeah,
but they are my bread and butter.
Perfect.
That's where I get the feedback from. I should be paying them.
Yeah,
and to be honest with you, I haven't.
I thought I was promised a Big Mac here tonight, wasn't there?
Yeah, you look like you've had a few.
I've had too many. Extra cheese.
Look who's fucking talking.
Okay.
My man, Brendan. Okay. You are just a delight to have on. I can't wait to have you back. And I love these conversations. So please don't take this as an invitation. I want you to come back, but I don't know. Got to get you some drinks, something, just to slow you down a little bit because you got riled up about a few things.
But you were trying to kick the can there.
No.
You went for it.
I never kicked the can with you.
You went for it.
You were just talking about some things that I had an opinion on, so I jumped in. Otherwise, I just, like if you were talking about car sales, I'd just back up and let you do your thing.
We'll talk about that some other time.
Yeah, exactly. Next time.
Yeah.
Okay, brother.
Okay, thanks for having me.
Good to see you. Yeah. Please say hi to Alex and hold on. Collins.
There you go.
Yeah. I don't know your parents' names.
It's okay.
Yeah.
We don't.
Your neighbors. Say hi to your neighbors for me.
I will.
And that's a good idea. I'm going to do that in the future.
Live beside your parents?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But my entire family does that. Like my brothers and my sister totally do that with them.
Yeah. Well, we got a bigger.
So it's not an original idea.
I'm not saying it was.
It's been passed down from my.
Okay, you win.
My family from generation to generation.
Your family wins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not my family. See, that's such a racist thing to say. My family wins.
What do you mean, my family? What do you mean, my people?
Because you went from the hood to Clairview. That you're actually no. Clairview's so hood. Yeah, we're never gonna leave the north side. Hey,
well, I like it.
Yeah. Were you born in Edmonton?
Yeah.
Where?
Clairview.
You were born in Clairview?
I just came right out Clairview pub floor. Just
That's
kidding.
the second natural birth somebody's told me about on the podcast.
Yeah. No,
Which hospital?
I don't know. Royal Alec, maybe?
Yeah, okay.
Think so?
Yeah.
Is that the one in Millwoods?
Yeah, you've gone far in life.
Yeah.
About 60 blocks.
Yeah, crazy,
Yeah, you should got to explore a little bit. Take your, I'm just kidding. I was at the Royal Alec,
Perfect.
born there.
That's the one in Millwoods, right?
No, Royal Alec's downtown.
Okay, which one's the one?
111th
Grey
Ave.
Nuns in Millwoods?
I think.
I don't fucking know.
Yes, I think.
Anyway, the one in Millwoods.
Which one's the one beside West Edmonton Mall?
Misericordia.
Okay, then the Grey Nuns is 50th Street, South Side.
Well, anyway, I think I was born in the one in Millwoods. That's where my daughter was born.
Yeah, that's cool.
Perfect.
Yeah. Well, tell them I say hi.
And that's where I learned that debit cards have expiry dates.
At what age? Recently?
When my daughter was born.
That debit cards have expiry dates.
Quick. I'll do this quick.
Yeah, no, take your time.
I don't.
For the people that are still listening, this is not going to offend them. They're still in it for the
No,
long
this
haul.
is not offensive.
Yeah.
So I never use debit cards. I do everything on Visa, points, pay it off, right?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So we're at the hospital, and Alex had to have a C-section, and there was a little bit of complications. We were there 3 days, a little longer. And so I ran out of some cash I had, and I was getting breakfast I stayed there the whole time. I was getting breakfast at the cafeteria down there. And then the last day I had no more cash. I go down there, whatever. Oh, shit, they don't take Visa. No big deal. A little debit card here. And I'm sitting there and it's not working. I'm like, and I look at the bottom. And so my daughter was born in March.
Yeah.
And my credit card expired in September. So it had been expired for 6-7 months, whatever. And I didn't know it because I didn't
You're
use
a cash man.
No, it's a credit card,
just
man,
kidding.
right?
Yeah.
Points. So then So I found out the debit card expired, so I had to go to a damn bank machine, take out $20 off my credit card, pay instant 19% interest on that cash advance bullshit, just to eat breakfast. But that's where I learned debit cards had expiry dates. What for? I have no idea.
Yeah, I didn't
These
know
are
that
old
either.
debit cards before they were debit
Yeah.
credit, right? This is
Yeah.
the old
With
school debit
the
cards.
square, the tag, the...
Yeah, barely had a damn square, so
Yeah.
I don't know why it expired. Like, what does
That's
it need
good
to
to know.
expire for?
Way to leave us with a factoid.
Yeah.
Because I need to know that stuff.
Yeah, now you know.
As my friend Nudie
And
would
if you
say...
don't know, now you know.
Yeah, exactly. I won't say the rest of that. Don't do it. As my friend Nudie would say is, I'm signing out.
Perfect.
Signing out.